Why preserve forests? For me, one of the main reasons to preserve forests is their role in the climate as we know it. They're huge stocks of carbon. Wood is half carbon, and that carbon is in trees and not in the atmosphere. And that means that they're a big part of the solution to climate change. But they also release a lot of water into the atmosphere. And in that water evaporation, they're cooling the air. You take away forests and it gets hotter. They're the storehouse and a reservoir of a huge number of plant and animal species. And very few of those have really been studied to know what utility they might have for people. So forests are critically important for watershed function, for clean water, for controlling floods, for preventing streams from drying up in the dry season, and they're global climate regulators. The main threats to forests today in the Amazon are really agricultural expansion. That's number one, be it for cattle or for crops. Actually, the area that's suitable for industrial type production of palm oil or soy is fairly limited, but cattle goes everywhere. And sometimes it's used to grab the land, to demonstrate that you're using the land productively, and that therefore it can maybe get a land title for it and then sell it later at a profit. Or it's used to actually produce cattle for beef or for dairy. It's a very low production type of land use, maybe 50 to 100 kilos of beef per hectare, replacing a 300-ton forest, maybe not a really good use of the land. The large-scale production that we see in Brazil, you don't find really in Peru and Colombia. There it's much smaller scale production. In Colombia, there's a lot of land grabbing going on in the post-conflict period as it becomes less risky to do business in the Amazon. In terms of solutions, I think that we have to look at what tropical nations are facing as a development challenge. Many of these nations, most of them, have severe food security issues, issues of economic opportunities, of poverty, and they look to their tropical forests to solve those issues, just as all development nations did in recent decades or centuries. So I think the way forward is really to partner to get the amount of funding that is needed to the ground that rewards the governments, the communities, the farmers, the businesses that are making the transition to forest-friendly development. That can come through the forest carbon market. It could come from donor nations. It can come from businesses stepping up and saying, we want to invest in the region that's providing us with the raw materials that go into our products. And we want to put our factories there, and we want to help them make the transition to renewable energy. So I think lots of these things are already happening, but they're not happening in an orchestrated way, in a collaborative way that is focused on forest-friendly development at scale. And that's what we need to win this. In terms of initiatives, the initiative of the Earth Innovation Institute that I'm most proud of right now it's called Tropical Forest Champions. What it does is it calls out and publicizes the tropical forest governments that are leading the transition to forest-friendly development. Our goal is to make it really safe and easy for companies to do business in those jurisdictions, in those states and provinces, to partner with those governments and the farm sectors in those regions, and to get investors to not divest because a region is engaged in deforestation, but to come back to the table and invest in forest-friendly development pathways.
is the perfect place to be truly yourself and helps to increase a more healthy state of mind, learning how to improve life quality. The project Ecologia Evolutiva Vincente works with the aim of bringing humans closer to nature for a real green revolution through experiences which involves natural elements in contact with trees, soil and water. I guide people to relax, connecting with it through our senses of sight, hearing, taste, smell and touch, developing their awareness. All of these experiences are possible also in other natural environments like gardens, hills and beaches. The main purpose is to reconnect man and his essence, his soul, his nature. I believe that changing our vision on this planet, we might be more responsible for our actions and behavior. Forest bathing is more than just a walk in the woods. First, you live nature, then you love nature, and finally, you protect nature.